Meet me. Welcome back, boys. It's been a while. It's December now, so I thought it was time for another account overview video, kind of a end of 2020 update. So I'm going to cover 5 topics today. Number 1, I'm going to go over my heroes and gear because people are always asking me about that. Hopefully my gear's in the right places because I haven't really been paying attention after the free unequips. Number 2, I'm going to talk about my PvP updates. Number 3, I'm just going to quickly go over PvE updates. Number 4, I'm going to go over a question people have asked me about how many packs do I buy and am I a whale? And number 5, I'm going to go over my future plans and end game thoughts. So let's just go ahead and get started. So topic number 1, heroes and gear. So let's just quickly, before we start this, let's go over the journal real quick. So at this point, you could see from my hero journal that I have pretty much every hero in the game. I'm missing Luluka and Chloe in terms of RGB Nat 5s. I'm missing this Sonya person who I don't care about. And in terms of Moonlights, I'm missing, I believe, 2 ML4s, Crescent Moon Rin, and ML Leo, neither of which I want. And I am missing some key ML5s like Remnant, Blood Moon Haste, and a Tywin. All 3 of them are obviously pretty meta. I don't really care about missing ML Seria, Ball, though post buff he's quite good. Apoc Robbie's good, but I don't really need her. I don't need Maid Chloe. So in terms of heroes, I think I'm pretty well stacked at this point. Like I would love to have these 3 ML5s I'm missing, the meta ones, but really no big deal. Specialty changes, these aren't really missing heroes. I'm just too lazy to do them, but I could clear them if I wanted to. So in terms of heroes, I have almost everything in the game that isn't an ML5. Now let's go over my heroes. I'll talk about whether I consider them usable or not. Obviously, Sirmia, I don't really use much anymore. I don't need to, but she is very good, especially in Guild Wars. Araz, and another thing about this video is I just want to show you that a lot of my heroes are not built well because a lot of people think I'm like God and have like super crazy geared heroes. I suggest you watch some other Legend player videos on YouTube and you'll see I don't stack up anywhere close to them. My gear's pretty marginal. My Araz is essentially unusable. These stats are unacceptable to use in high tier RTA. I do love Araz a lot, but if you watch my crafting videos, you'll notice I always say, please give me Knight or Soul Weaver gear. And these are the kind of reasons why I just can't seem to build them. Although with the new RTA changes, maybe Knights won't be as important. My Lilius is pretty scuffed. Her gear's not that great as well. In RTA, she's somewhat usable, depending on what the draft is, but her defense is unacceptably low. She actually just gets blown up all the time. And usually if you have these kind of defensive stats, it's because you have some damage on her. Mine doesn't even have any damage. She's just straight scuffed. My Kayron's pretty scuffed as well. I barely use him. Excuse me. I only use him in RTA as anti-cleave, which is why I have him on portrait. But I stole some of his gear and put them on other heroes, so he's pretty scuffed at the moment. You can easily get better offensive stats than mine and still get 200 plus speed. Although I'll most likely switch him to counter at some point anyway. Tamarin, she's fine because I don't use her in PvP, and in PvE you can have retard tier stats and she'll still be godly. Like this is the gear I used her in an Abyss, it's fine. Sigrid, her gear's pretty good. So actually this is where some of my Kayron's gear went to. Obviously I don't really use her in PvP, but in Wyvern she just butthole screws Wyvern. She can one-shot Wyvern pretty much, so I'm pretty happy with my Sigrid. She's just a PvE build. My Crowl is decent. Not great. His effect resist is a little bit low for straight RTA standards, but I mean, he is on 2 pieces of 75 gear, but he's okay. He's usable. He does fine in high tier Legend or high tier Champion RTA. Tywin, he doesn't really need good gear, so this gear is fine. I barely use him anyway, but honestly, his gear doesn't really matter all that much if you're going to use him. His effectiveness is pretty crazy, so he lands whatever he needs to. Alexa, she's full retard, but she's just a wyvern debuffer, so it's fine. My Cerise is amazingly geared, clearly. My SSB is decent. She's kind of a balanced SSB. I'm not going full Reingar's build. I have some tank on her. Ideally, I'd have a lot more defense on her, but offensively, her stats are fine for what she's meant for. So I'm okay with my SSB, but she's nothing special. My Dizzy, she's okay. I mean, even though a lot of her gear is reforged or 88, her stats are kind of on the low, and her effectiveness is a bit low. Her defense is quite good. Her health is a little bit low, and she's kind of slow. She's okay. Amomo's pretty scuffed. I just used her as a Wyvern tank. Obviously, I switched my Wyvern team to a G-Purge team, so I never really thought to re-gear her. If I put my Ruel's gear on her, she'd actually be real good, because she'd be like 250 effect resist, but she's unusable in RTA with these kind of stats. My DN is fine. For RTA, this works completely fine. So DN, I'm quite happy with her stats, although DN's largely fallen off in RTA, but this is probably one of my better geared heroes. I'm okay with her. My Alencia, I'm also fine with. The Draco plate really helps with her crit damage, and she is quite tanky. I've won many matches where she like 1v2s or 1v3s teams, so my Alencia is definitely one of my better geared and more reliable heroes. My Charles, I don't really use him for anything. He hits decently hard. His offensive stats are quite decent. His health is pretty good. His defense is a bit low, and his speed is horrendous. He'll get like triple lapped by any cleaver. But I think he's okay. But I don't really care because I don't use him. My F Clury's pretty scuffed. Her effectiveness is ass. Her speed is kind of ass. But that's just my night gearing situation. So my F Clury is pretty garbo compared to top tier legend players, but a lot of top tier legend players will put some of their best gear on their flurries. So Celine, she's fine. I don't really use her. Her gears, obviously, like a lot of it's just throwaway gear, but whatever. I don't use her, so I don't really care. Landy, de-geared. My Bassar's an idiot. He's a 240 speed Bassar, but when you draft Bassar, you're basically expecting them to draft a slow team anyway. I'm not bringing him against cleavers, so it's fine, but his gear's pretty horrific. Ray's just my Banshee team person. His gear's garbo. Rowana, she used to be one of my better geared heroes when I used her on arena defense. Now that I'm not taking arena seriously, she's on backup gear, so her stats are horrendous. Gunther, nope. My Judge Kisei, she's fine. I just use her speed clear arena pages, and she works just fine for that. In RT, I don't use her. I might try to use her in RTA this season if I try to cleave more. To do that, I would want to switch her to speed boots. Judge Kisei, you really want her to have at least like 170 speed, I think, for RTA, because you can't expect the A-lots to get through. So if you get her fast enough to like 170, even with like a Flitica C-Dom push, you can get her to the front, and it should still do enough damage. LQ Charlotte, I was going to experiment with this build. I haven't had a chance to use her in RTA yet. Her defensive stats are kind of bad, but I kind of put a lot more speed on her than the average LQC, so one of these days I'll try her. My LR Crowl is passable now, even in RTA. The thing about my LR Crowl is he has a really weirdly high amount of defense, so when people go on him, he's actually quite hard to kill, quite tanky. His effect resist is kind of bad, though. His speed is okay. Like, most LR Crows seem to be lingering around 200 to 240 speed, so mine's kind of on the mid-end. But the faster ones usually have, like, pretty low life and stuff, so he's okay. My T-Surin's okay as well. Pretty average, nothing insane, but she works and she's helped my arena defense rating a lot. Flitica, she's slow as balls. You gotta remember, I'm an endgame player, so when I say things like slow as balls, I'm comparing myself to the upper echelon of players. If you're like a player who started 3 months ago, you're gonna be like, how is 270 slow? You have to keep in mind that these numbers, at the high end of champion, 270 means you'll get outsped by everything. Because they're running like all 290 to 310 speed initiators. Plus, a lot of them bring imprints like Celeste or Shuri, things like that. So the speed game is very different at the higher tiers. Watcher Shuri I don't use. Silverblade Armenta, I tried to use her more. Her gear's pretty scuffed, but she's usable in certain drafts. DJ Basar I never use. My Ruel, again, one of my better geared heroes. I'm quite happy with this Ruel. 200 effect resist, 18k life, 180 speed, acceptable amount of defense. Makes her quite tanky, resistant, and she turn cycles reasonably fast for a Soul Weaver. So I'm very pleased with my Ruel. Don't use. Dark Corvus, he's kind of scummy geared. So he's not really usable in RTA the way I have him built. In Guild Wars, though, he's my bread and butter for high-end Guild Wars. Pretty much any build with Dark Corvus works in Guild Wars as long as you give him enough HP to one-shot with Soul Burn. So he's fine. I would like to use him in RTA more, but not with this gear. I need to give him better gear if I want to use him in Guild Wars. I mean, in RTA. ML Ken, I'm quite happy with. His gear is pretty solid. The main problem with ML Ken is he's just not very good in the meta right now. So in RTA, he is still usable, but only against very specific drafts. Like against a bruiser versus bruiser draft, he's largely useless. Anti-cleave, depending on what they're cleaving you with, he can be quite good. FCC I'm perfectly fine with. She's not a 30k FCC, but the thing you have to keep in mind is with those 30k HP FCCs, a lot of them have really low defense because they just stack HP and speed in all their subs. I prefer having a little bit of defense on her, so I'm actually quite happy with the way my FCC works, even though she's not one of those 30k ones. Arbiter is easily my best geared heroes. For most players, their Arbiter tends to be their best geared heroes because they like their Arbiter the most. If I could get one more imprint, or I've been using most of my unknown slates on him, or I can get another Alexa's, I can push him to 4k attack. His crit damage isn't the highest, but it's because I kind of made him a little speedier than average. I may even push his offensive stats down a little more and get him to like 250, but probably not. But Arbiter I'm very happy with. Acid, his speed got nerfed. If you watch my older videos, he used to be 300 plus. I got rid of a lot of his speed gear and redistributed it. I may actually even de-gear Acid because of the way, Cerise and Guiding Light were buffed. So I'm not sure how great he'll be at countering them. Or I'll just put him straight speed again and get him back to 300 speed. But I do love Acid. He was a bread and butter for me last season in Arena. But nowadays I don't use him too much. Sedum, she's fine. Definitely not one of my best geared heroes. For perspective, top players will a lot of times have like 4k attack, 350 crit damage, and like closer to 200 speed Sedums. So obviously I'm lacking in those areas, but the way I cleave, she works fine because I'm not cleaving seriously to begin with. Champsy, I love him. I would love to fix his gear. I just don't really farm lifesteal gear. I could put him on speed, but I don't have more DPS speed sets. S10A is fine. One of my better geared heroes. She does work in the right draft, so S10A's gear I have no concerns with. Same with TM Luluka. My TM Luluka is stronger than the average TM Luluka, but her speed is lower. I should record my cursor. I did realize I wasn't recording my cursor. Her speed's on the lower end. Most TM Lulukas will be 230 to 250, but mine does tend to hit harder than average. Ken I don't use. I love him though. And now we're going into not awakened heroes, so I don't think we have to cover those. Heroes I think I want to build in the future as of now. are probably going to be Fire Charlotte, Acades, A. coli. I think SS Acades works fine at level 50. And obviously, if I pull any more ML5s, those would go to the front of the list. But those are some heroes I'm interested in. So I think that about covers heroes and gear. So we'll go to the next topic, PvP. So PvP, obviously, you could see from my frame that regular arena, I got Legend last season. So that's top 100. People are asking if I'm going to be pushing for Legend this season. Most likely not. But depending on where the season ranking is in like week 8, if I find that top 100 is only like 60 season points or something, I may just top 50 the last 4 weeks and get the new frame as well, because that doesn't take much effort in the last few weeks if you watched my Legend Arena video. Guild Wars, it's still preseason, so we don't have the frame, but last season we finished rank 33, which is a big bump for us. So my guild is a top 100 guild now. So actually Endeavor season was good because this year I made pretty big strides because I went from kind of a nothing player to both a top 100 arena and Guild Wars player. And I'm hoping next season we could push our guild to top 30. RTA, I haven't really done it last season because I was focusing on regular arena and Guild Wars because I wanted those achievements. So last season I did worse than the first season. The first season I think I peaked like 2,800 or something. Last season I don't think I got past like 26. I just didn't do RTA much. This season I will do RTA more, but we'll talk about that more in the last topic. But of course, Champion RTA is no problem for me. I can get that extremely easily. Legend is a completely different story. In terms of PvE, I have, you guys know I don't care about PvE. I barely do it, which is why my progression hasn't been that great. I can auto every hunt. I haven't even done the new Katie's hunts because I don't care to do it until the Hunter team comes out. I think it's a waste of energy. And the biggest improvement was my Wyvern team is quite reliable and fast now. So I invested in Sigrid and Furious because I thought my slow Wyvern was holding back my progression, and now I can take much better use of the hunt events. In terms of PvE, like the Hall of Trials, I always end up triple S-ing it without really trying. I don't really care about getting any high, like I know there's a leaderboard, but I don't care about that. And Abyss, I still need to do the last 3 floors, but I haven't really been caring because the rewards aren't that great here. The main reward was 105.20 molas, and I'll do this at some point, probably the next free unequip. But PvE, I'm pretty much done. You know, PvE is pretty easy in this game. So topic number 4, let's talk about packs, because I don't believe in lying or anything. So full disclosure, am I a whale? Yes, I consider myself a whale now, although I'll talk about that more in the next topic. So in my previous account overview videos, people like accused me of being a secret whale or whatever. I don't know why, because I showed you the packs I was buying. The last 3 months I was a whale because from YouTube, I got to the point where I was making more than $500 a month from this channel. So again, like I have a job. I don't really do this YouTube crap for the money. I think the money from YouTube is pretty ass unless you have like 1 million subs or something, which is impossible if I'm just covering Epic 7. So really, I just did this for fun. And so I don't really do it for income. So I put all that money back into Epic 7. So I was putting about like $400 a month into this game, starting from like July, I guess. Basically what I was doing was I was buying out the $100 Mystic packs every month since July so I can pull those new heroes and get you content. So because of that, I think for the last quarter, I would definitely consider myself a whale. Before that, all I was really buying was these 2 monthly packs. And I think, unless you guys are really serious about being F2P, these packs are mandatory. They help you a lot, and it's only $15 a month. It's really not a big deal. It's the cost of a single drink at a bar. And the other thing I was buying was, there's not one right now, but with those special events, sometimes they'll have those $100 packs that give you the 30 galaxy bookmarks or whatever. I would buy those as well. So I considered myself, like, I guess it's dolphin tier if you're buying these and those special packs. But now that I'm clearing out the mystic packs, I would consider myself a whale. So that's basically what I've been buying. I haven't been buying Mola packs because I'm in this situation where I have no Mola problems because I don't have gear. I don't have gear, so Molas are not an issue. Even if I Mola them, I can't gear them. So I don't buy Mola packs. I have still never ever bought a Leaf pack, not once in my entire Epic 7 career. Which is, again, while I'm following, or not even following, I'm behind the whales. I can't keep up with their energy, and I don't really farm that much. You could see I have 180 leaves and a crap ton of these monthly pack energies, because I just can't stand grinding. So with that said, let's just move on to the last topic, because I think that will explain a lot of my energy and stuff. So topic 5, future plans and endgame thoughts. So I think I'm going to kind of shift, because I'm an endgame player, guys, and the thing about endgame in Epic 7 is, at this point, I don't have much left to accomplish. I'm a Legend Arena player. I took my guild, with mostly half of it is real-life friends, from a no-name rank, bottom rank, like 99% guild, into a top 50 guild. And I am the leader of my own guild. I never joined a top guild because I wanted to build it from scratch. So really the only thing I have, and PvE is easy, I don't care about it, so the only thing I really have left to accomplish in this game is top 100 RTA. Now, in top 100, when I verse legend players, my win rate is abysmal. If I try really hard and do bruiser versus bruiser, I can probably do about a 25% win rate in my experience. You could check my RTA videos in the past if you don't believe me. I've versed people like Cafe Kaz and beaten them. I've versed legend players in the past and beaten them, so I'm not making that up. It's recorded, you could check my channel. But the win rate is not good. More often than not, I lose. And against top players who have really crazy cleave teams, my win rate is effectively like 10%. Unless I outdraft them well, the gear disparity is so huge I can't compete. So really, to be honest, like, I don't believe in bullshitting myself. Like, some people just make excuses and say, like, oh, I could be the top, I just don't want to try. I'm not one of those people. I'm not sure I can be top 100 unless I get a very lucky string of favorable drafts. The gear and the kit that I have is nothing compared to top players, where they have like a counter for everything I have. Like my Arbiter, I noticed one of my best geared heroes, when I verse top players, it's a struggle to use them because they all have really well geared BMHs, and BMH, Blood Moon Haste, rocks Arbiter, so it's really hard for me. So I'm kind of in this weird spot where the only thing I really have to do in the game is this. It's just use all these and spam this. And I don't really know how much I care to do that, because top players, probably in terms of hunts done, probably have like a 50 to 100,000 hunts completed difference between me and them. And the way players catch up is by basically clearing out the pack. Like, if you're behind a legend player, the way to catch up is to clear out the shop, use all your sky stones for energy. Clearly I have plenty of sky stones, and just burn it and get hunts and fix that gear gap. I don't think I have the motivation to do that, guys. So I will say next season, what I'm going to commit to do is try my hardest in RTA, and we'll see how far I can push. But in terms of, some people have asked me, because some people seem to be under this impression that I can make Legend RTA easily and I'm just not trying. I'm just going to be honest. It's not. Like, I think even if I tried my hardest with my current gear, I could not do it. I think if you gave me a Legend player's account, like a full Whales account, and told me to play it, I think I could get Legend. I don't really feel I get badly outplayed or anything by Legend players. Once you're a good player, it's pretty clear usually what the best play is. But with my gear, I don't think it's possible. So with that out of the way, I think the biggest thing to say was my future plan. So in terms of endgame, this is the endgame. Spamming hunts and crafting and hoping you get lucky, that is the endgame in Epic 7. Once you get to this point where you have like every hero in the game and you've completed Legend Arena, little top 100 Guild Wars, all the PvE content, there really is nothing left to do than spam hunts and see how high you could go in RTA. But I think what I'm going to do instead is next season, I'll try my hardest in RTA, and then I'm just going to try and make fun content for you guys. So I'm going to focus more on hero reviews, experimenting with weird stuff. I've already proven that I'm a legitimately good Arena PvP player, Guild Wars PvP player, and I'm just going to try and have fun with this game. And along those lines, in terms of taking my progression less seriously, I'm probably not going to buy packs anymore. If there are really cool ML5s coming out, again, I don't care about the YouTube money, so assuming that I make enough that month to buy out the Mystic packs, I might. But I'm going to go back to my old model of buying nothing but these 2 monthly packs, because I'm not quitting the game or anything. Don't take this as me quitting the game. It's just I don't have much to do other than top 100 RTA, which I believe will take a lot more effort than I'm willing to put in. So basically at this point, all I'm going to do is buy these 2 monthly packs, do as many hunts as I can, pull all the new RGB heroes, and if I like them, I'll build them and review them for you guys. But in terms of any other packs, I'm probably done. And I'll try to recoup my own money other than my YouTube money, because I probably spent like 1,000 of my own money that wasn't YouTube profit into this game. So I'm probably going to try and recoup all of that so I can say to myself, I haven't spent a dime of my quote-unquote own money on Epic 7, and then maybe I'll start investing that money into other games and stuff. So I think I will start branching this channel out to other games. I've been scoping out some other gotchas I can try. I've been looking at Shining Beyond right now. It looked pretty cool to me. I tried 7 Deadly Sins and Genshin so far. I didn't like either of them, so I didn't want to do them. If I wanted to just grow this channel, I would have focused on Genshin because that's the big game for growing a channel. But again, this channel was never about money. It was more about me having fun, helping other Epic 7 players out, and hopefully if I do pick up another game, and some of you choose to follow me there, I can make guides for those as well and continue to help with that. So if you guys have any other game suggestions that you think are really good, let me know. The one caveat is I would only want to play newer games because I don't want to join like an old established game where I can't catch up at all and it's going to require me to whale. So I'd rather play a new game where I can be pretty close to the top without spending money. So anyways, I think we could wrap up, I can't talk today, wrap up this account overview video now. I hope that gave you a sense of all my heroes, where I'm at, my future plans for this game, and what I plan to do. And to all my subscribers, thanks for watching and thanks for your support, guys. Wouldn't be here without you. So anyways, till next time, peace out, everyone.